So basically it was 2003 when I was in 5th grade, when the doctor told me, "Hey, you have autism." And I was like, that explains everything. Stuff like having a hard time communicating, constant anxiety crises, etc. It all made sense. And it would easily define the rest of my life, which includes one of my favorite special interests, video games. Either way, as much as I love the Nintendo Wii, I kind of wanted to talk about all of the video games that impacted my autism, as well as some of them that mirror my life experiences, somehow. So let's mother truck and go! Sonic Autism, Sonic Autism, I swear this franchise follows me everywhere. People often associate Sonic with autism for many reasons. And I think that one of these reasons is that autism is also associated with JRPGs that have hours of content, filled with cutscenes, with voice acting, etc. Like, even today, you need to love JRPGs in order to love JRPGs. And 3D Sonic games, just like JRPGs, have a nifty amount of cutscenes, and the themes it tackles are about just as insane. Most critics didn't care for Sonic's cutscenes, so Sega had to make them more light-hearted. Due to that, it's why some people did not enjoy the 2010 Sonic. The whole autistic sincerity behind the dialogue was gone. But even in Sonic Lost World, you can see that the writers tried to make the story a bit more emotional at times. Same thing for Sonic Forces, but I think Ian Flynn is better at writing Sonic characters. But then again, this is an English-speaking writer, because before then it was just a bunch of Japanese writers whose writing had to be localized. There's also how localization works. Basically, the Japanese language is very straightforward, hence why localizers have to add a lot of personality to the dialogue. For example, Jake Hunter's literal translation was poorly received by critics, but then Axis Games updated the localization and people liked it a lot more. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, due to localization, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2's dialogue is simple to understand, and the fact that it is a platformer makes it more accessible than a 60R or JRPG. There's also the amount of languages, which makes Sonic games even more accessible. So that sort of is why Sonic games can appeal to autistic people. There's also how it's inspired by anime, but without the violence nor the sus stuff. Mostly since the ESRB as well as other ratings are very strict on that. I would also be willing to call Klonoa autistic, for the same reasons. Also please play Klonoa. But yeah, another franchise that I would say is autistic as Sonic is Splatoon. After playing Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, I thought we kinda needed a real Sonic Adventure 3, like one that wouldn't be Sonic 06. Then I played Splatoon and I was like, oh, this is the Sonic Adventure 3 I wanted. A title involving platforming and shooting, but with a lot more subtle story told through logs. Vocal music also echoes Sonic Adventure 2 as well as Jet Set Radio, not to mention the character designs, which echoes the 90s radical character designs. Remember when they redesigned Yogi Bear? Yo, Yogi, yo, shut the fuck! However, what I think is the most autistic aspect of Splatoon is the lore. It's told in a subtle way to the point where you always need more. So I need to complete the game 100% to find it all. And even then, there are plenty of theories online. So it's like diving through a endless rabbit hole, as it motivates my autistic brain. It's like Twitter drama, but fun. I'm sorry, V guy. I'm too busy searching for Splatoon theories on Twitter. Wait, why am I searching for stuff on Twitter? I really wish I could say that the same applies for FNAF to me, however the lore is very convoluted, so I'm less motivated. And this is coming from someone who understands Kingdom Hearts. I would rather deal with Tetsuya Nomura's garbage. Holy car. Wait. Carp? What does this remind me of? SpongeBob me Bob! I am the worst character in this entire show! Fifth grader me had an hyperfixation on SpongeBob, so I thought it was the best show ever. 30-something-year-old me doesn't think so. I enjoy it and it makes me laugh. But some of the episodes from season 2-3 just feel a bit too tryhard for me. The thing about SpongeBob is that I really related a lot to him as a kid, mostly due to his meltdowns, anxieties, and hyperfixations, etc. He is very autistic coded in season 1, while in the other seasons he's just straight up dumb. That did not stop me from wanting a game where I could become the sponge and explore Bikini Bottom. So yes, behold, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's basically Super Mario 64, but with Sponge. It let me explore Bikini Bottom and all of its colorful places, most of them being from the show. So let's just say that my 5th grader self enjoyed that a lot, almost as much as I enjoyed Sonic games during that era, and certainly a lot more than I enjoyed Super Mario Sunshine. You are my sunshine, my Mario Sunshine, and I hate you! Back to Battle for Bikini Bottom. As much as I loved this game, I did not get every joke, nor that Squidward wanted my life to end. Oh really, Squidward, you want my life to end? Get the grinder. Oh! But then again, English is not my native language and I only learned it in 4th grade. Still, that makes this game even more of an autistic experience. Okay, I'm done with the popular stuff now. Wait, I could talk about Persona 3 Fest, but everyone talked about it. All I'll add is that it kind of helped me to understand how planning stuff works, as well as how to socialize with friends. So yeah, that's it. First up, this Moon Remix RPG Adventure. Moon is a title I have talked about in my Cozy Games video. It's about a kid who plays an RPG but he gets absorbed in it. However, he is pretty much a nobody, but he still has to share all of the love in the world with the game's inhabitants. Unfortunately, you can barely do anything at first since you're on a timer, but the more love you get from NPCs, the longer you can stay out without dying. If that ain't my autism, I don't know what is. Thing is that before the pandemic happened, I used to go out often, but I still was on a timer and I could not do everything. However, it became even worse with the pandemic. It took a lot of time after we could finally go out to shows in my city before I could even last 2 hours outside home. And I couldn't even go outside my city for too long before I felt exhausted. So yeah, while things have gotten a lot better, my life still is on a timer, and it always will be. At least I got some STEM toys to compensate for that, but our kid has love instead, which is a kind of motivation, and the thing about love is that it can come from pretty unusual places, like from actual monsters who are just victims of the hero, a garbage hero that kills everything for the sake of it. I can also relate to that, as not everyone I hang out with have a clear-cut good or evil position, since A, they can be human, and B, they are also maybe victims of circumstances as well as systematic issues. If there's an aspect about Moon that is very interesting, is that you do not need to please everyone to complete the game, or even get the good ending, which is pretty much something that applies to real life, by the way. So yeah, Moon is pretty autistic, especially within my context. Wait, does this apply to other Love the League games? Chibi-robo has the old battery aspect, as well as the NPCs which all have their own schedules, but the sound design... The sound design feels like playing with a gosh darn STEM toy. From the footsteps to the tasks to the voices, it's all autistically satisfying, and whenever the melodies pop in my head, I automatically grin. That's why Chibi-robo is my favorite GameCube game. Wow! Unfortunately, most other titles by Love the Lick, which separated into multiple studios, aren't as autistic as these two games, but the spirit is still there, and we getting a new Chibi-robo life. I forgot about Minecraft.
Oh man.
The thing about Minecraft is that it only came out a bit later, so I pretty much forgot about it. But for Gen Z, Minecraft could be considered pretty important. More important than Notch himself, at least. I already talked in depth about Minecraft here, so you can watch that if you want. Or you could watch That's right, we're going back to the Sega Saturn era. Nights into Dreams got a bunch of marketing worldwide, while Sakura Wars stayed exclusive to Japan until 2010. Back in 2010, visual novels weren't super well received, especially compared to today. However, Sakura Wars So Long My Love is a mix of a visual novel and a tactical RPG. However, your decisions are based on a timer. Does feel like quick time events. However, that's usually how real-time decisions work. I need to say the sentence right now in a timely manner. There's no time for decision in the real world. You must choose between I like Wario or I don't like Wario in a split second, and if you don't make the correct choice, it's awkward for everyone. So yeah, Sakura Wars is sort of relatable in the most painful way possible. And that's pretty much the only aspect of the game that I can relate to. This is a mid-2000s harem anime in video game form, not something too deep. But then again, straightforward RPG dialogue appeals to my autism. Oh right, JRPGs, you know what that means. It is a very well-known fact that Satoshi Tajiri, one of the main driving forces of Pokemon, is autistic, which honestly understandable. If my neurodivergent butt would have made a game in the 90s, it would probably look like that. Not! It would be like 10 times stupider than that. It would probably be like Sonic Adventure but 10 times weirder. Be afraid. As for Pokemon, the project started in 1990, back when JRPGs were pretty basic story-wise, aside from maybe DQ3. Apparently, some people have said that this is pretty much the Final Fantasy VII of Japan. However, due to that, Pokemon was really focused on the gameplay. After all, this is the Game Boy Basic, so if you need to fit 151 possible party members in a Game Boy cartridge, you have to deal with limitations. Due to that, most millennials who grew up with Pokemon don't really care about its story. But thanks to the internet, we got Bulbapedia, so that helped people get interested in the lore. And let's just say that the games are designed for people to catch every Pokemon and explore every nook and cranny. The exploration aspect, as well as many other things, are the reason why autistic people I know really love Pokemon. Well, maybe not all of the newer ones. Digimon also has its own appeal, but most of the games feel less like gotta catch 'em all and more like this digital world is different from yours. You have to survive. The variety of Digimon titles, as well as their lack of consistency, make each other stand out from each other. Hence why Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is the one I will inject in my veins. This Digimon video game is basically like Super Smash Bros. But Digimon. There's even a single player campaign with multiple endings. And let's just say that the main gameplay is just fun. Very chaotic, but very fun. It also has its own futuristic aesthetics, a sort of dark, gritty future. Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is kinda autistic for the single player inclusion. Heck, this one is even constructed like Shadow the Hedgehog. You have multiple paths that lead to multiple missions that lead to multiple endings. I do enjoy that variety, at least more than Shadow the Hedgehog. But yeah, if fighting games have a single player campaign, I will probably play through it, from Bloody Roar to Smash Bros. Ultimate. I love story campaigns in this type of game, even more when they fuse the genre with another. Wow, a weird platformer adventure game with fighting elements? Thanks Tobal number 1. Literally Kirby Superstar with stickers? Thanks Super Smash Bros. Brawl. A classic beat 'em up being a hidden mode? Tekken. And let us not even mention Street Fighter 6. It's beautiful. When done right, single player modes can be really addictive and go a long way. It fuels my autistic brain. Yippee! Wait, this isn't a video about fighting games, although I feel like Street Fighter 6 has a very JRPG-ness to its story mode, which explains why I enjoy it so much. Hopefully other titles from the same genre will follow suit, but we need to talk about 2 final games. You know what? The 3 final games. Sonic Team should be called Autism Team, because Nights into Dreams is heavily based on psychology of dreams, but otherwise it has sports. Sports aren't that autistic, I think. As for the sequel, now that is the most neurodivergent game ever. Like Sonic Adventure, it has the long drawn out cutscenes but British, and it has a bit of a childlike fairy tale atmosphere to it. Every singular aspect of this game is over-explained, and honestly, I am here for it. My autistic brain is like, yippee, more lore! Journey of Dreams just works like that. I also love that it has platforming levels using the human characters, as I always wondered what a full-fledged Sonic into Dreams would be like. It is very clunky and actually kind of fun, even if it lasts 3 levels. But after completed his dream project that flopped, Rodea the Sky Soldier, Yuji Naka, the original creator of Nights, had an idea to go to jail.
Oh, harder, Daddy!
Balan Wonderworld. His idea was Balan Wonderworld, some random MASH platformer that got heavily rushed because the developers were too ambitious, while Square Enix straight up wouldn't delay the game. And honestly, my neurodivergent brain absolutely loves this title. Yes, it flopped, making Naka desperate for money to the point that he would resort to illegal stuff, which landed him in jail. Despite that, I got used to the one-button control scheme very quickly, even though it made things a bit too tedious to my tastes, especially in the 2-player co-op mode. I appreciate a lot how the levels are designed, while the levels themselves are very character-focused and vague. It really makes you wonder what happened to these characters, and the answers are kind of grim. A lot of the characters' story are very relatable, especially the girls with shame for her special interest about bugs. So let's just say that I cried more than a couple of times. And just the dreamy vibes of this game really remind me of 6th gen platformers, especially due to how well the statues are written. I hate that you have to collect a lot of statues to progress in the game. I wish it was optional, mostly because the levels aren't designed around the statues. But then again, the entire atmosphere of this game is autistically stimulating. So yeah, I love Balan Wonderworld. I even played it with my parents and reintroduced them to gaming. They also love Mario Party. Thus ends my video about autistic video games, or video games that reminds me of my autistic experiences. One last yippee! In conclusion, I like video games. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to. So yeah, bye bye!